Welcome to another Luck Scout bedtime story. In a faraway land, nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering river, there was a small village named Crescent Hollow. The village was known for its quiet nights, where the stars twinkled brightly and the moon cast a gentle glow over the rooftops. Life in Crescent Hollow was simple and peaceful, and the villagers cherished their calm, sleepy evenings. Every night, the people of Crescent Hollow would gather by the riverbank, watching the reflection of the moon ripple across the water. It was their favourite way to end the day, a time of peace before they drifted off to sleep. And yet, there was something special about this village that made it unlike any other. In Crescent Hollow, there was a legend that the moon itself watched over the village, guiding the villagers into their dreams. The moon was said to have a secret path, one that led straight to tranquility and rest. Only those who believed in the power of the moon's light could find this path, and it was said to bring the deepest, most peaceful sleep to those who walked upon it. One evening, a young girl named Mira sat by the riverbank with her family, gazing up at the moon. She had heard the legend many times, but had never dared to follow the moonlit path. Tonight, however, something was different. The moon seemed brighter, its light more inviting, and Mira felt a quiet longing in her heart. "I wonder if the legend is true," she whispered to herself. "I wonder if the moon's path really does lead to the most peaceful sleep." As Mira sat by the river, lost in thought, she noticed something unusual. A soft, glowing mist began to rise from the water's edge, swirling gently in the moonlight. It shimmered like stardust, and as it danced across the riverbank, it formed a delicate path that seemed to lead toward the hills beyond the village. Mira's heart skipped a beat. Could this be the moon's secret path? She had always heard the legend, but now, before her very eyes, the path had appeared as if it were calling her. Without hesitation, Mira stood up, her eyes wide with wonder. She looked back at her family, who were still gazing at the river, unaware of the magical mist that had formed the path. A sense of calm washed over her, and she knew in her heart that this was a journey she was meant to take alone. Taking a deep breath, Mira stepped onto the moonlit path. The mist felt soft and cool beneath her feet, and as she walked she felt lighter, as though the worries of the world were being lifted from her shoulders. The further she walked, the more peaceful she felt, and the night seemed to grow quieter and more serene. The path wound gently through the hills, leading Mira away from the village and into the heart of the moonlit night. The stars above twinkled softly, and the moon seemed to shine just for her, guiding her with its gentle light. As Mira followed the moonlit path, she soon found herself in a beautiful garden, unlike any she had ever seen before. The air was filled with the soft fragrance of night-blooming flowers, and the leaves of the trees sparkled with drops of dew that reflected the moon's light like tiny diamonds. In the centre of the garden stood a small shimmering pond, its surface as still and smooth as glass. The water reflected the moon perfectly, and as Mira approached, she felt an overwhelming sense of calm wash over her. "This must be the Garden of Dreams," she thought to herself. She had heard stories of such a place, a magical garden where dreams were born, and where anyone who entered would find peace and tranquility. Mira knelt by the edge of the pond and gazed into its depths. As she looked, she saw images forming in the water, images of her happiest memories, her favourite places, and the faces of the people she loved. The sight filled her heart with warmth, and she smiled softly, knowing that she was in a place of pure peace. As she continued to gaze into the pond, the water began to shimmer even more brightly, and Mira felt her eyes grow heavy with sleep. She knew that the garden was inviting her to rest, to let go of all her worries and drift into the most peaceful sleep she had ever known. Mira lay down on the soft grass beside the pond, her eyes half closed as she listened to the gentle rustling of the leaves and the soft trickle of water. The moonlight bathed her in its glow, and she felt as though the very stars were watching over her, cradling her in a blanket of calm. As she closed her eyes, Mira felt herself sinking into a deep and restful sleep. The garden of dreams surrounded her with its beauty, and the moonlit path had brought her to a place where time stood still and only peace remained. In her dreams, Mira wandered through the garden, her heart light and her mind free of all worries. She followed the moon's light as it guided her through fields of glowing flowers, across bridges made of stardust, and into the most peaceful corners of the dream world. Everywhere she went, she felt the warmth of the moon's light and the comfort of knowing that she was safe, loved, and at peace. The sleep she found in the garden was unlike any other. It was the sleep of pure serenity, where every breath was slow and calm, and every dream was filled with joy and tranquility. When the first rays of dawn began to break over the horizon, Mira slowly awoke. The garden of dreams was still around her, but the soft light of morning was starting to replace the glow of the moon. She sat up and stretched, feeling more rested and peaceful than she ever had before. As she looked around, the garden seemed to shimmer in the morning light, and Mira knew that it was time to return to the village. The moon's path had brought her to this place of dreams, and now it would guide her home. With a heart full of gratitude, Mira followed the path back through the hills, her steps light and her spirit calm. The village came into view, and as she crossed the riverbank, she saw her family and the other villagers waking up to greet the new day. Mira smiled, knowing that the peace she had found in the moonlit garden would stay with her, no matter where she went. She had learned the secret of the moon's path, that true tranquility could always be found, if only she allowed herself to follow the light and trust in the journey. As you lie in your bed tonight, dear Luck Scouter, imagine yourself walking the moonlit path, feeling the cool mist beneath your feet and the gentle glow of the moon guiding you. Let the story of Mira's journey fill your heart with peace and serenity. Remember that even in the busiest moments of life, there is always a path to tranquility waiting for you to follow. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and let go of all your worries. The promise of calm and the gentle light of the moon are with you, guiding you to a night of restful and pleasant dreams and a tomorrow filled with peace and joy. Good night.